The world is filled with unsolved mysteries that have baffled scientists and historians for centuries. From the terrifying to the bizarre, here are 10 unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. Number 10. The Voynich Manuscript. Created sometime during the early 15th century, the Voynich manuscript is a book that was likely written in Europe. It has more than 200 pages and includes illustrations of plants, astronomical charts, and diagrams of what look like mechanical devices. What makes this mysterious text a mystery is that it contains no discernible language. Every letter of every word in the book has been examined by experts, and none can agree on the alphabet or language used. Even more intriguing is the artwork. There are pictures of plants which seem to have been copied from real live specimens, and yet the drawings of the plants don't match up with any known plant species. Some of the diagrams appear to be astronomical charts of stars and planets, but the diagrams aren't quite accurate enough to be used for navigation. There are even full-page illustrations of underwater scenes, including women holding hands in a circle while underwater, breathing through what look like diving bells. While there are theories on the origin and meaning of the manuscript, such as the idea that it was a medieval fake designed to fool unsuspecting buyers, no one really knows what the book is about or why it was created. No. 9. The Disappearance of the Indus Cities. Located in what is today Pakistan and Western India, the Indus Valley civilization had its own language, script, and culture. They were also likely the first to use standardized weights and measures, and they invented the world's first chessboard. Yet despite having all these advancements, they disappeared without a trace around 1800 BC. For centuries, historians believed that the civilization collapsed because of a devastating drought that turned the region into a desert. However, recent studies suggest that the people of the Indus cities didn't just pack up and leave. Evidence shows that the cities were destroyed and abandoned at around the same time. Some believe that outside invaders could have attacked and destroyed the cities. Others think that the Harappan people, as they're called today, migrated south after their cities were destroyed. Either way, to this day, no one knows exactly what happened to them. No. 8. The Baghdad Battery. Discovered in 1936, the Baghdad Battery consists of a collection of clay jars found near the ancient city of Baghdad in Iraq. Each jar had a sealed terracotta plug in its opening with a copper tube coming out of the top and running down the side. One end of the copper tube was sealed, but the other end was open. A hole was drilled through the base of each jar. Inside each jar was a metal rod made from either iron or silver. When archaeologists made their discovery, they assumed that the jars had been used to store perfume or some type of oil. But soon, someone realized that the parts of the jars lined up perfectly to make an electrochemical cell. Some believe that when an electrolyte like vinegar was poured into the jar, a current would have been created between the copper and iron rods. This is speculation, however, as scientists haven't actually tested the theory. While historians know that ancient civilizations in Mesopotamia kept records of astronomical events and invented tools to track the movements of the planets, they didn't have anything resembling modern technology. As such, they wouldn't have needed batteries. This leads some to claim that the jars weren't used to generate electricity, but rather served as amulets designed to protect against evil spirits. If they were batteries, it would have been the first example of electrical technology anywhere in the world. 1,000 years before the invention of electricity in Greece. No. 7. The Antitherra Mechanism. Discovered in 1902 off the Greek island of Antitherra, the device known as the Antitherra Mechanism is the oldest known piece of analog computing machinery. It was found in pretty bad shape, consisting of only a few scraps of metal. But since then, more pieces have been recovered, and it's slowly become clear how the device worked. At first glance, it looks like a very complex clock with multiple gears. And indeed, researchers believe that the device was used to tell time. But it did much more. It also tracked the phases of the moon, the positions of the planets, and even the dates of major astronomical events like eclipses. It was also inscribed with both Greek letters and numbers. What's even more incredible about this artifact is that it was made in roughly 200 BC. Yet it wasn't rediscovered until almost 2,000 years later. How advanced was the civilization of the time? And what other technology did they invent but lose track of? Number 6. Napoleon's treasure. Somewhere in the deserts of Egypt lies the lost treasure of Napoleon Bonaparte. In 1798, Napoleon landed in Egypt with over 35,000 troops in order to defeat the Ottoman Empire. But his invasion force was defeated, and he eventually fled back to France. Before leaving Egypt, however, he ordered his men to bury crates filled with gold coins, precious gems, and artifacts stolen from Egyptian museums. These treasures were intended to pay his soldiers for their service, but ultimately the treasure was never recovered. Napoleon forgot where it was buried, and his soldiers took the secret with them to their graves. Since then, several people have claimed to know the location of the lost treasure, but none have ever been proven correct. Experts estimate that Napoleon's lost treasure is worth millions of dollars, so who wants to go looking for it? No. 5. The lost city of El Dorado. For centuries, explorers have searched for the legendary city of gold known as El Dorado. The story goes that the city belonged to a powerful tribe of South American Indians, who covered themselves and their buildings in gold dust. But while the legend might be true, the location of the city is not. Rumors of a wealthy, heavily fortified city in the heart of South America reached Europe in the 1500s. Soon, conquistadors set out to find the fabled city. Unfortunately, they never returned. Some perished at sea, while others were killed by the indigenous people. It's now believed that the city of El Dorado may have actually been the city of Petete, located deep in the Amazon rainforest. Excavations have uncovered evidence of a large city that could have housed tens of thousands of people. However, there's no proof that the city was covered in gold or that it was called El Dorado. No. 4. Cleopatra's lost tomb. In 30 BC, Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt, died under mysterious circumstances. According to legend, she willingly ended her life by allowing an Egyptian snake to bite her. Where she's buried remains a mystery. Cleopatra left no instructions as to where her body should be laid to rest, nor did her lover and co-ruler, Mark Antony, bother to arrange for a burial after his untimely death. Instead, her adopted son and Caesar's grandnephew, Octavian, built a magnificent tomb for himself and his family in the city of Alexandria. But Cleopatra's remains were never placed inside. Historians believe that her body was likely thrown into the sea, following the custom of the time for those who died away from their homeland. Other sources say that she was entombed beneath the Temple of the Moon, but no one knows for sure. No. 3. The mystery of the Danish stones. Found along the shores of the Baltic Sea, the Danish stones are a series of nearly 60 standing stone formations. What makes them a mystery is that no one knows how they got there. Archaeologists have estimated that the stones are between 3,000 and 5,000 years old. The older ones were erected during the Neolithic period. The stones weigh up to 18 tons each and would have originally been connected by wooden beams to form passage tombs. But over the centuries, the beams have rotted and the stones have fallen. Nobody knows how the beams were moved or lifted, but many believe that the ancient builders used levers and rollers to move the incredibly heavy stones. No. 2. The Mowi of Easter Island. Found on the remote Pacific island of Rapa Nui, better known as Easter Island, the Mowi are monolithic human figures, carved by the island as indigenous people between 1400 and 1600. They range in size from about 4 feet tall to over 26 feet tall, and each monolith weighs several tons. The islanders somehow managed to carve nearly 1,000 of these statues and transport them across the island. But how they accomplished this feat is a mystery. Some believe that the statues were rolled across the island on logs. Others think that they were carried by ropes. Still, others claim that the islanders invented an early version of the wheel. Number 1. The Stonehenge Mystery. Built between 3100 and 1900 BC, Stonehenge is perhaps the most famous monument from the Stone Age. Located in Wiltshire, England, it's estimated that it took 4,000 people 1,500 years to build. But we still don't know who built it and why. Over the years, various theories have been proposed regarding the purpose of Stonehenge. Some believe it was used as a burial ground, while others think it was used to predict astronomical events. There's even a theory that it was used as a landing strip for extraterrestrial visitors. In truth, we may never know what Stonehenge was actually used for, but we do know that it was a massive undertaking that required the cooperation of multiple tribes over many generations. Thanks for watching. Which of these ancient mysteries fascinated you the most? Let me know in the comments below. See you next time. Bye.